welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing a really simple recipe, and I'm going to tell you the amazing story about how I discovered a plant-based diet when I turned 40. So first, let's get started with our recipe. I'm going to stay true to my name. We're going to kill some chickpeas and make some chickpea salad. In this video, I am going to tell you how I discovered the whole food plant-based diet, but before I do that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed so far to my channel, and thank everybody that's been watching. In the previous two videos, I talked very briefly about what life was like for me in my 20s and 30s to kind of set the stage for you so you can have something to compare, what my life is like now to. So I found the plant-based diet not because of me at all, oddly enough, despite me being overweight and unhealthy. It was actually because of my dad. Now, my dad has been through a lot of health problems. When he was 39, he had a triple bypass. When he was 43, he had an angioplasty done on another artery in his heart, and that's where they go in with a catheter and inflate a balloon to push all the plaque and everything up against the walls and opens up the artery. So he had that done at 43. When he was 52, he suffered a massive stroke, but he recovered fully from that, believe it or not, thank goodness. But they had to go in and cut his neck open, clean out his carotid artery for that. So then when he was 63, he suffered a mini stroke, and I know that doesn't sound quite as bad as having a big stroke, but this was actually a very big deal. He had a mini stroke due to a blockage in his artery that feeds his brainstem. If you aren't familiar with anatomy, the brainstem is the part of the brain that controls all the basic life functions, including being awake, heartbeat, breathing, that kind of stuff. So having any kind of problem with your arteries in that part of your brain can be a very big deal. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. We literally had the best neurosurgeon in the whole country, thank goodness. And he said, well, I can fix it. Well, I can try to fix it. But there was a really big chance that he would kill my dad on the table doing that. So he decided to let it be and decided to change his medications around. And my dad asked, well, is there anything else I can do? And at that point, the neurologist was in the room, and he said, well, there's always hope. And so I knew that that wasn't a really good answer, and this was the first time really that he had a major problem, and the doctors could no longer fix him. Well, I went online, and literally out of desperation, I Googled natural therapies for vascular disease or something to that effect. And up came names such as Dr. T. Colin Campbell, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, Dr. John McDougall. They talked about how a plant-based diet could help halt or reverse or prevent altogether vascular disease. So we thought this was, why not? Why not try it? What's it going to hurt at this point? And so what we started doing together was eating better. Now, I decided to do this with him out of support. At that point, I was only 40. I really didn't think I was all that unhealthy. But the reason I told you about all that stuff in the previous two videos is so you can see how far I've come too. We started out learning all we could. I was actually online quite a bit. I started getting the books such as The China Study by Dr. T. Colin Campbell, and I got How to Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease by Dr. Esselstyn. I think those were really the two things we started with because of the nature of his illness. What we started eating were things like chicken, fish, olive oil, and we were still eating dairy. We eliminated red meat and all the processed junk foods. Then as we learned more, our diet naturally became a vegan diet that was based on whole foods and low-fat ones, because we found out things like oils, even olive oil, they're not heart healthy, they're not healthy for the insides of your arteries. We just couldn't take a chance with the disease that he had. So the oils were gone. Once we found out about dairy, whoa, that was long gone. Once I learned that it didn't matter where animal muscle tissue came from, it could come from a pig's butt, it could come from a fish's tail, it doesn't matter, it all has saturated fat in it, and that is also not a chance we could take with his arteries. So we naturally became whole food plant-based vegans after we learned what we did. Got a bunch of geese out there. So far his disease has been stable, and I'm great with that. I don't think they've ever said that it's regressed, but it's been stable, and that's all we can ask for. So this was 4.5 years ago that we started doing this, and knock on wood, he's still doing well. So we each ended up losing 70 pounds, and his cholesterol was like 260, I want to say, when he was in the hospital. It dropped to, I think his lowest was 109. We actually had the privilege of being interviewed by Jason Cohen, and he is making a movie called Big Change, the film, and he is going to be featuring a few people that lost a tremendous amount of weight eating a sustainable diet, like a plant-based diet. But he also has a podcast. I'll put the link to our interview below. So in that video you will hear more of my dad's story, about where he came from as far as what he used to eat, which was basically processed crap, just like me. And he'll talk more about his health problems in greater detail, and how we both ended up eating a whole food plant-based diet, and how we did this together to support each other. So in addition to some pretty big weight loss, my dad and I both were able to turn our health around. I realized that I wasn't very healthy to begin with, and he's still alive, and so that's what matters. I'm not going to be the one to tell you that a plant-based diet is going to be a cure-all for everything and that you're going to live to be 180, but I do think that it's some of the best life insurance you can give yourself. So that is how I found out about a plant-based diet, and I'm really glad that I found out about it when I did. And part of the reason I wanted to start a channel like this was so I could get the information out to other people, because I'm in the healthcare field and I did not know that this was an option for my dad. So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be putting together a lot more stuff for you in the future, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I hope you subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Bye.